Day 54. Numbers chapter 1 and 2. Have you ever felt unnoticed? Like you're just one person in a sea of billions, trying to matter? Numbers chapters 1 and the 2nd of may seem, at first glance, like just a long list of names, tribes and numbers. Census figures, camp arrangements, military organization. But there are great whispers we often overlook. God counts. And God counts you. Let's begin where God tells Moses to take a census of the Israelites. Every tribe, every family, every male 20 years old and above, who was able to go to war. This wasn't random counting. It wasn't statistics for curiosity. It was intentional. Each tribe was called by name. Each leader was named. Each family was recorded. God did not say count approximately, he said list them. Why? Because God is a God of order. But more than that, he is a God of recognition. Sometimes when we read scripture we rush past the names, because they seem repetitive. But imagine being one of those people in that wilderness. No permanent home. Surrounded by desert. Uncertain future. And then God says, I want to count you. That census was a declaration. You belong, you matter. You are part of my plan. Today many people feel invisible. At work, in ministry, in family, on social media. You may feel like just another face in the crowd, but we are reminded that heaven knows your name. God does not deal in vague groups, he deals in individuals. Another whisper is on responsibility. Only those 20 years and above who were able to go to war were counted for battle. Not everyone had the same assignment. That is important. Not everyone is called to fight the same battles. Not everyone is called to lead. Not everyone is called to the front line. But everyone has a role. The tribe of Levi, for example, was not counted in the military census. Why? Because their assignment was different. They were set apart to care for the tabernacle. Some people compare their calling with others and feel less important. I'm not in front. I'm not leading. I'm not seen. But the Levites were entrusted with something sacred. The presence of God. Sometimes your role is not visible, but it is vital. If you are serving quietly, if you are praying in secret, if you are raising children in the fear of the Lord, if you are faithfully doing what God told you to do, you are counted. Now, in chapter 2 something else happens. God gives specific instructions on how the tribe should camp. 3 tribes on the east, 3 on the south, 3 on the west, 3 on the north. And right in the center, the tabernacle. God's presence in the middle. This arrangement was not accidental. God did not want to be on the outskirts of their lives. He was to be at the center of everything. When they woke up in the morning and stepped outside their tents, they could see the tabernacle. When they traveled, they moved in order around the presence of God. When they camped around him. Your life works best when God is at the center, not the edge. Many people today place God in a corner of their lives. Sunday mornings. Emergency prayers. Special occasions. God designed a life where everything revolves around him. Your work, your marriage, your business, your decisions, your dreams. When God is central, there is order. When God is central, there is direction. When God is central, there is protection. Another whisper of note is that each tribe had its own banner, its own identity. They were not clones, they were distinct, yet united. This tells us something important for today. You can have your unique personality, gifts, background and story, and still belong in God's family. You do not need to erase who you are to follow him. The tribes were different in size. Judah had the largest number, others were smaller, but they all had a place around the tabernacle. If you feel small in faith, if you feel like your contribution is tiny, remember this. Smaller tribes were still positioned around God's presence. God did not remove them because they were fewer. And Numbers chapter 2 ends repeatedly with a simple phrase. They did everything just as the Lord commanded Moses. In a wilderness season, in uncertainty, without knowing how long the journey would last, they obeyed. Sometimes we think obedience requires full understanding. But often, obedience comes before clarity. Maybe you are in a wilderness season right now. Waiting, onshore, feeling like life is in transition. God is organizing things even when you don't see the full picture. He is positioning people. He is assigning roles. He is placing you where you need to be. He is counting you in. And most importantly, he desires to dwell at the center of your life. So if you are seeking God today, here is your encouragement. You are not random. You are not overlooked. You are not misplaced. You are counted. You are positioned. You are surrounded. You are called. The same God who arranged an entire nation in the wilderness is still a God of order today. He sees your name. He knows your tribe. He understands your assignment, and when your life revolves around His presence, even the wilderness becomes a place of purpose. So today, instead of asking, "Does my life matter?" remember, He counted the Israelites, and He counts you.